Hi, writers. We are going to learn about writing mini stories today, or paraphrasing as evidence to support our thesis statement. So today I want to teach you is that essayists try to support their points in ways that will move readers to agree with them. And to do that, they sometimes paraphrase a part of the story. We learned how to use direct quotations, where we use the author's exact words and use quotation marks and give credit to the author, but today we're going to learn how to paraphrase, and we'll talk about exactly what that means in a moment for our text and our essay on Fly Away Home. All right, so paraphrasing is when you restate or reword a text. So you put it more clearly and use your own words. So like I said, quoting uses the author's exact words, and we said we know we have to give credit to the author and use quotation marks, but paraphrasing is when you retell a section of the text in your own words. And we can use that as evidence to support our thesis. All right, so we're going to practice this with Fly Away Home. So first, we need to timeline a section of the story that matches your thesis and support. So as a reminder, our thesis is that Fly Away Home teaches us not to give up. And the support that we're focusing on today is with the help of a bird. So we're going to tell in this paragraph how the bird teaches us not to give up. So let's start by rereading the section of the text where Andrew sees the bird, and then we'll go ahead and timeline it. All right, so here's the part where we see the bird. Once a little brown bird got into the main terminal and couldn't get out. It fluttered in the high, hollow spaces. It threw itself at the glass, fell panting on the floor, flew to a tall metal girder, and perched there, exhausted. Don't stop trying, I told it silently. Don't. You can get out. For days, the bird flew around, dragging one wing, and then it found the instant when a sliding door was open and slipped through. I watched it rise. Its wings seemed okay. Fly, bird, I whispered, fly away home. Though I couldn't hear it, I knew it was singing. Nothing made me as happy as that bird. All right, so let's timeline that section. So we're just going to say step by step what happened in order that it happened. So first we know that a bird was flying in a small space in the airport. Now the bird flies into the glass. After, the bird gets tired and perches up on a metal girder, and it gives up on leaving. See, Andrew keeps watching the bird, and he tells the bird not to give up. After, we see that the bird continues to fly even though its wing is hurt. Next, we see that a sliding door opens and the bird escapes. And finally, we know that Andrew tells the bird to fly away home. So like I said, we just made a timeline of that short section of the text in exact order that it happened. All right, so now that we have our timeline here, we're going to start putting this into a paragraph and paraphrasing that section in our own words. So first, like we do for every body paragraph, we need to rewrite our thesis and support, and then we'll tell the mini story by paraphrasing as evidence. And we remember that's in our own words, and to use sequential transitional words and phrases like first, next, then. All right, so here we go. The last and maybe most important way the author teaches to always keep trying is through a small bird. So here's our thesis statement and the support of the small bird. Now I'm going to paraphrase this timeline in my own words. One day, a small bird is flying in a small space in the airport. It struggles to get out for a few days. It even flies into the glass and soon gives up, perching on the beam in the airport. So I'm on step 3 in our timeline here. When Andrew sees this, he keeps watching the bird, realizing it is trapped and encouraging it not to give up. Later, the sliding door opens and the bird escapes despite its injured wing. As it leaves, Andrew whispers, fly, little bird, fly away home. So I just paraphrased our timeline here into my own words. All right, our final step now, like we do with any evidence, is explain how it supports our thesis statement. So how does this paraphrase section support the thesis that the book teaches us to always keep trying? All right, so I use the term "this shows" to show that I'm going to explain now. This shows that Andrew is rooting for the bird, telling it not to give up. The bird is a symbol of hope for Andrew, that one day he and his dad will get out of the airport and go home too. The bird kept trying and finally, at the right moment, was out and free. The author is helping us realize that this can be Andrew and his dad one day. All right, so like I said, I timelined the section. I rewrote my thesis and then paraphrased the evidence. And then I explained how that evidence connects to our thesis. And this is what you're going to be doing today. So find a section of your story that matches your thesis. You'll make a timeline, paraphrase that section, and explain how it supports your thesis for your individual short stories and literary essays. And as a reminder, remember that the paraphrase section or mini story needs to be in your own words. These are your own words here. All right, go ahead and get to work.